Let's talk about the BET Awards. So, for those of you who do
Ooh.
not know, for those of you who do not know, the annual BET Awards were held for 2021 this past Sunday, June 27th. We are going to be answering the specific question of, is the 2021 BET Awards and BET as a channel any value to the Black community? So, very, very interesting question, to say the least. I am going to go ahead and throw this to E-Man to start us off on this. What say you, sir?
All right, so I know everyone heard my early PSA about BET. Guess what? My ideas, my thought is not going to change on that. I'm just letting everyone know that. That's the first thing and whatnot. That's never going to change and what. I haven't watched BET in almost, was we in 2021 now? So it's been about shit. Me carry the 1, the 2, the 3. All right, I got it. So it's been
I ordered them.
14 years, and I'm bad at math. So
One,
when it comes to
two,
math, I
three.
gotta draw it out. I gotta draw it out, carry my twos, make sure that I'm
Okay.
adding, crossing it. What I forget what they call it, but carry over and whatnot. Yeah,
Okay.
I gotta make sure I get my math down correctly and whatnot. I'm not great in math, but I'm definitely great in science. That is my thing. But
I love
math ain't my
science
strong
too.
point. So I'm just letting everybody know that. So sometimes when it comes to math, I gotta like draw it out and make sure that I got it right. So so
Gotcha.
it's
Yes,
like
sir.
so it's 14 damn years, and they've been 14 great years that I ain't got to watch that monstrosity and whatnot. You know, on and the nerve of it calling it Black entertainment television. You know, it should be bitches entertainment for the damn assholes and whatnot. That's what it should be and whatnot. Because ain't nothing good on there at all. At all. You know, they just keep playing on everyone's strength, watching that terrible, terrible network and whatnot. You know what? And I'll tell everybody like this, you know, I would watch Oprah's shitty network OWN before I even watch BET and whatnot. And I don't even watch OWN and whatnot. But when it comes to BET, it is like as low as it gets, you know? It's like the toilet paper when you wipe your ass and you throw it there in the toilet. That's what BET is to me and whatnot. It's just that piece of shit that just sits in the toilet, you know? Yeah. That's how bad I hate being. And I told you about I'm going in on BET. Yes, I'm going in and whatnot. Now this tragic of like BET awards and whatnot. It's been tragic since that Usher started lip singing and whatnot a few years ago and whatnot.
Oh
Uh-huh.
my
Oh yeah, I'm exposing y'all now. I'm coming in. Oh yeah, and whatnot. You know, you know, I got a lot of respect for Mariah Carey because me and her got the same birthday. But she was over there lip singing too. That one time they had her on the BET Awards and whatnot.
Oh, a lot of them do that during
Mhm.
performances.
Yeah.
In general.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's generally a standard way that performers, that they perform at during these award shows and etc. They lip sync.
But I'm picking those two and whatnot because I can burn their bitch asses because they resonate with me because I grew up listening to them. I don't know about everybody else though, but everybody else, I agree. If you lip sync, then fuck you too and whatnot. But then I'm watching some people have videos up, think of performance and whatnot. I don't know who they're performing, but there was two girls kissing and there was two boys kissing. Now, before I say anything and whatnot, PAT, may you please say your ad lib for me, please.
Stop it.
Correct. Because this is the shit that needs to fucking stop and whatnot. It needs to. Y'all keep talking about homosexuality. I don't know too many heterosexual people who be sitting there just putting their everything in the face and whatnot, on television for kids to be watching. you know, because that shit needs to stop and whatnot. That
About
was by far
programming.
the most sickest thing in the world on national television. And I know children was watching it too and whatnot.
It's
Whoa.
about programming.
Yeah, you know. Oh yeah, I'm coming in today. Because y'all pissed me off. So I'm coming for y'all, you know, because this thing is getting out of hand and whatnot. I saw another video online, you know, with a young girl, you know, like I think it was like some type of Zoom and whatnot. She's over there talking to a transgender, like, you know, a transgender woman, you know, you know, and I'm thinking this is how they're teaching children about this shit now, you know.
Okay.
You know, and you know, the girl asked you like, hey, he's like, what are you? You know, he kept repeating, you know, I'm a transgender woman. I was like, do you know what the little girl said? She's like, what is that? She asked her, are you a boy or you a girl? He couldn't even answer that part, you know?
Well, you know, for who she recognizes herself to be, that was an appropriate answer. My issue with that situation would have been that the most appropriate conversation or way for that conversation to occur is with the parent, right? I think for me, it's not so much whether or not the person is transgender, because everyone has the right to live their life the way they see fit. No one has the right to judge someone on how they want to live their life. It boils down to me going back to minding your business. But my problem is, why isn't that a conversation that was being held between the parent and the child in the first place? Is I just want to make clear, you know, here on The Good, the Bad, and the Truth, we are all individuals. We all have our individual opinions about subjects, but, you know, we are not I just want to make it clear that we are not in any way bashing anyone's lifestyle. Everyone has the right to live their life as they see fit. And I think in this particular case, you know, how you feel about any community or etc., that is totally up to you to have. You know, everyone has the right to feel however they want to feel about anything. But for me, what I heard from what you said is that these are conversations that parents need to have with children. And that's my opinion on the matter. It's not necessarily, you know, about the individual themselves, but why isn't the parent wielding the child is my concern on the matter. Just throwing that out there. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're good, because that's the point I was getting at and whatnot, but it's okay. That's the thing. They keep shoving this up. I have nothing against what you do. It don't stop me from doing anything, you know? You know, the LG, I can't even get it right. Say it for me, please.
LGBTQ.
Thank you. Community and whatnot. I ain't got no beef with them and whatnot. I know a lot of them. I have no beef with none of them and whatnot. But the way you pushing this stuff on, that's the issue that I have. You know,
how does this relate to the BET Awards?
Because they're part of the problem of pushing the same agenda and whatnot. That's the issue.
Probably because of Lil Nas X.
And that's where I was just about to get, because that fool is the one who is just, and it's not just him. I feel there are people that are basically grooming this guy to do all of this, because this is the guy that all the kids want to listen to and follow and whatnot.
Real quick.
Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I just wanted to add on to what y'all were saying real quick, just to give my brief piece on it. So I'm with y'all in the fact that what grown folks do, whatever lifestyle or sexuality or whatever, you know, grown folks do, that's their business. And I don't have an issue with that. You know, whatever people do on their own time amongst, you know, whoever they do it with, whatever, you know, that's that person or person's business. But I think it becomes a problem when it's being pushed on children. That's where I draw the line. That's where it's problematic.
Yep.
But if it's not pushed on children, then whatever grown folks do, fine. I have no problem or issue. I don't lose sleep over, who's gay or who's transgender or whatever. Like people have the right to live the way they see fit. That's fine. But once we bring children into it, that is a problem, in my opinion. Once we bring children into it, and Naya, I do agree that if there is to ever be a conversation or discussion or a dialogue about homosexuality, transgender, or whatever the case may be, that should be a conversation, discussion, dialogue that parents need to have with their own children. It's not something that needs to be in schools. We don't need our children getting caught up in that.
So my concern with the two of your statements is that what is any different in regards to the pushing on children than when children watch a violent cartoon or etc. That at the end of the day, this boils back down to the principle of no one or anything should be wielding your children but the parents. Why would a gay person being proudly gay be any more effective to wielding your children than a violent cartoon or movie or TV show? At the end of the day, it boils down to you as the parent to wield your child. And so that's my issue with the matter, because I feel as though the problem that people have in general, and you all know me, is accountability. You can't say on one end, I have a problem when it starts affecting our children. It shouldn't be able to affect your children if you are doing your job as a parent. We grew up in an era where we were exposed to all kinds of shit. None of us anime came out. It was violent as hell and all different kinds of stuff. We played violent video games, Max Payne and all different kind of shit. None of us became shooters. None of us went out and killed anyone because our parents raised us differently. What's going to happen if a child is exposed to someone living their life proudly? That's going to make them gay? That's preposterous to me. You as an individual, as a parent, are responsible for wielding your child. This is no different than the Cardi B, Megan Thee Stallion thing. We had this conversation a few episodes ago where we were talking about how people were saying they were too provocative and all of this shit. Well, first of all, your young ass child shouldn't be exposed to Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion anyway. They don't make music for young children. It's not Kids Bop. You as the parent are responsible for wielding your child. There is no difference in this situation. And we don't live in a world where gay people are segregated from straight people. They are going to experience and see gay people
it's
every
a sexual orientation.
Day. And right, but what are you going to do? Are you going to cover your child's eyes if a gay couple is at the grocery store buying groceries? If they decide to kiss, will you cover your son's face? If two gay men decide to kiss in the grocery store, will you cover your son's face to avoid him seeing that?
No.
No. The thing is, I agree. I agree to a certain extent, and I mean those are those are real life, real time situations that. No, I mean I wouldn't just be covering my son's eyes if, let's say, a gay couple kisses in public. I mean, that would be a bit ridiculous because that takes place in the real world. They are a part of society. They are human beings, so
exactly.
And they show affection. They do everything that heterosexual people do. So, I think it would be ridiculous if it got to a point where, oh, well, a gay couple's off on this side and they're kissing or making out or whatever. And, you just want to cover your children's eyes. I don't think it should go to that extreme because that's going to happen, like I said, in real life, in real time. But for me, when there's an agenda at work, and this right here, honestly, it goes into a whole nother topic, and I don't want us to. I know you guys don't want to. Also, we don't want to stray off too much from our main topic. So, you know, that could be a discussion for a whole nother episode or session. But, you know, for me, when there's an agenda at play, and real quick, I did watch the documentary Buck Breaking, and they pretty much touch on what we're talking about, but they go in more depth, obviously, you know, because it's a documentary.
Watch that thing.
And even prior to Buck Breaking, I already knew about some of the stuff that has been taking place and has taken place. And when the thing is, long story short, when there's an agenda at play, and some people see it, some people don't, and that's fine. But when there's an agenda at play, that's when it becomes problematic. I'll just put it like that. But like I said, I don't, you know, want to stray too much off of what our main topic is, because this could go off into a whole new tangent, you know. So
no, I agree with you on staying on topic. My only thing is, as it relates to the BET Awards, the agenda could only be successful if you're the asshole parent allowing your child to watch the BET Awards in the first fucking place. It's not a child-friendly award show. It goes back to the exact same thing we were talking about when we were talking about the award show where Cardi B and Megan performed. It's no different than the BET Awards. Since when has the BET Awards been a friendly child show? And maybe when it first came out a long, long time ago, when BET's content was originally a little more appropriate, but BET hasn't been appropriate for children for years. Even that started when we got younger. The last time I could remember BET being appropriate, even close to appropriate, was, again, when it was first launched. I mean, Rap City came out and 106 in Park came out, and things got racy back then. So how could an agenda even reach your child if you're not exposing them to an inappropriate award show in the first place? That's my only point.
It was a little bit more sensual back. I wouldn't say back then, but it was a little more sensual. So you had to really like pay attention and whatnot. Now they just said, like, you know what? Fuck it. We just putting everything out there, you know? That's raw.
True. That's
raw.
That's true.
Right, but your child shouldn't be watching it. That's
like I said,
point.
how many silly parents are out there doing silly things? There's a bunch of them.
That's on them.
I was actually just about to get into that real quick because, yeah, ideally, parents shouldn't be letting their children watch this stuff. That's the ideal thing. In an ideal world, parents would not even let their children get near BET or the BET Awards or whatever. But unfortunately, we live in a world that's not perfect. And unfortunately, kids do get exposed to this stuff. You know, we could blame it on irresponsible parents or parents not being around enough. You know, there's a lot of factors at play. The fact of the matter is, in reality, children are going to still get exposed. And yes, I do agree that parents need to regulate. You know, of course, parents need to regulate that and make sure that their children aren't exposed. But unfortunately, that's not the world that we live in.
Yeah, no, that's not even my point, though, because, you know, Pat, you know that you and I agree on that aspect, right? You actually posted something on Facebook a few days ago, and I commented, you're exactly right. People want to live in an idealistic world where everything is hunky-dory, and the reality of it is that's not the case. The example I always use is, you know, women should be able to walk down a dark alley and feel some safety, but we know because of the world and we live in that we cannot do that, so we avoid the dark alley. My example pertains to this. We know in reality that your children are going to get exposed, but that's why you take the precaution of having the conversation with them in the first place. The point is not to avoid exposure completely. That's unrealistic. The point is to understand that there is not going to be anything you can do to completely prevent them from being exposed. Therefore, as a parent, it's your responsibility to wield them. That's what my point is. At the end of the day, BET Awards, Essence Awards, whatever the shit is, movies, TV shows, the real world. The point of the matter is you can't be with your child 24/7. You can't be with them around the clock. What you can do though is make sure that foundationally you are raising your child the appropriate way for you, whatever that may be. Everyone is different. And because in my household, my child is taught that human beings, just off the principle of being human beings, deserve to live their lives as they see fit. That's what my daughter is taught. She is taught that regardless of whether someone is Black or white or Spanish or Asian or gay or straight or Muslim or Christian or Republican or Democratic, as an individual, they are born, or excuse me, as a human being, they are born with the inalienable right to live their life as they see fit. Because that is the foundation that I have raised her on, one thing that she has learned to do is mind her fucking business. And that's the same way that I operate. At the end of the day, yes, I do care about things that affect our community in general. I'm not saying that there is or isn't an agenda about anything, not gay, not just gay, straight, bi, or whatever, politically, race-wise. I'm not saying that there is or isn't an agenda in general. But for me, the principle of when it exposes or when it becomes an issue is when it's exposed to children. That shit falls on the parent. Your child you can't stop your child from being exposed to everything. You have the responsibility of wielding your child as you see fit, regardless to what they're exposed to.
Right. That's correct. I agree 100%. I mean, it all falls on the parent. You know, it all falls on the parent. The parents. So let me say the parents. It all falls on the parents. That's, you know, what it all boils down to. You know, parents have to do their job. We as parents have to do our job, regardless of what children are exposed to or, you know, not exposed to. Just like you said, Naya, we have to at least provide that foundation.
Mm-hmm.
Totally agree.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I wish I would have got my ass whooped, but it was so hard to not, you know, give up, you know, Def Comedy Jam and whatnot. I got a lot of ass whoopings, you know, not to watch that, you know, that damn show. But hey, every ass whooping was worth watching that damn thing, regardless. Just saying. I took them all.
Was hilarious.
I took them all.
E-Man, we apologize. We definitely cut in on your time there. If you want to go ahead and wrap up your thoughts, and then we'll move on to myself and Mr. PAT.
All right. So final note. I mean, oh shit. I am tongue-tied today. Oh my Lord.
No worries. No worries.
Okay. Final thoughts and whatnot. BET, a big bowl of shit in a toilet that can't flush.
Jesus,
and that's how I'm ending my thoughts. A big toilet bowl full of shit that can't be flushed. That is what BET. I want everyone to see and marinate on that imagery right there.
That is, don't say marinate, sir.
You know, marinate. All right. Big toilet bowl full of shit.
Oh my God.
That can't be flushed. Marinate on that. And that is how I'm ending my thoughts.
Well, thank you very much for that very unappeasing visual that you just placed into my. I very much appreciate the detail associated to that. Okay, so what's interesting is that I actually agree that BET is crap. I think my reasons are a little bit different, but in general, our question was, is the 2021 BET Awards and BET as a channel any value to the Black community? So for the first part of the question, the answer is the overall award show itself hell no, it's of no value. But I would like to say I do appreciate that they gave a DMX tribute. I did not watch the show because just like you, E-Man, I haven't watched BET in years because the content is straight bullshit. Okay. I don't like the game. I don't like any of the right. Exactly. Basura. Okay. I don't like that show, the game. I didn't like many of the other shows. It's just the movies that it play. I have not found any value or anything that I connect with BET in a long time. And matter of fact, it's so funny. Just a side note here. You all know that I'm a huge Boondocks fan. Well, in season 3 of Boondocks, and I'm actually currently rewatching the entire series. In season 3 of Boondocks, there is an episode. Yes, there's an episode dedicated to the BET show, the BET channel. And
I remember that one.
Yeah, that shit was raw. When I say that Aaron Magruder, shout out DMV, Aaron Magruder, yeah, boy.
Oh.
But when I say that Aaron Magruder went hard on that episode, he went hard on that episode.
So sorry to cut you off, Nia
No,
Angel,
you're fine.
but I just want to let everyone and all the good listeners know, Boondocks season 4, 2022. In January.
Yeah, boy.
Just letting everybody know that.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yes, I'm excited. I'm hyped. That's why I'm rewatching everything and super hype about that. So, but yes, sir. So anyway, what I was saying in regards to the BET Awards itself, I have not been a fan of the channel in many, many years. I have not liked the content. I would say it's probably close to the 14 years, like you, E-Man, since I've even watched anything on it at all. You know, of course, I know of some of the shows and stuff that have come out, but actually watching it, no. And, you know, I just find that what BET does is go out of its way to perpetuate stereotypes about the Black community. That's what it seems like. It seems like it's almost purposely trying to perpetuate as many stereotypes as possible about the Black community in its shows and its movies. And it's just ridiculous. I am not entertained. I do not find the channel beneficial to our community in any way because it's my understanding that it's not even like fully owned by Black people at this point anymore.
I'm gonna talk about that.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's nothing but a fucking shell. What is the terminology that I'm trying to use here? It is a shell of
its former self.
And it is basically being utilized to push ignorant stereotypes and images and projections of the Black community, and it needs a complete fucking overhaul or destruction even, and we create another channel that is truly representative of what BET is supposed to represent. Now, with all that said, as I was previously noting, I do appreciate that there was a tribute to DMX. Again, I did not watch the show, so I cannot speak specifically on whether the tribute was amazing or mediocre or whatever. But the fact that there was, in fact, a tribute to DMX, who obviously was a pillar for hip hop in the Black community, I do appreciate that they took the time to honor him in that fashion. It's my understanding that not only did people perform, but there was also a specific performance by an actor, the actor who was from The Wire, and he was portraying DMX. So there was like a portion where he was doing a skit or whatever, and in that skit he was portraying DMX, using his voice, saying a prayer and etc. And I was looking for his name. I want to say it was like McKelty Williams or something like that.
Michael K. Williams.
Yes, Michael K. Williams. Thank you, Michael K. Williams. So, and I understand Method Man performed and etc. That I appreciate, right? I appreciate that we took the time to honor that. It's also my understanding that Queen Latifah received an honor on the show. Queen Latifah also is a staple of the hip hop community. She is one of the first female MCs in the hip hop game. She's definitely a pioneer from that perspective, not just being a woman in the game, but she was one of the first lyrical rappers, period. You know what I mean? She back then, she was lyrical in the game. So, I appreciate that she received an honor. And, from those kind of perspectives where they honored people who, were pioneers or legends or et cetera, who have passed away, like DMX and Latifah, who has meant so much to the hip hop community, I appreciate that. But other than those small aspects, no, I don't have any love for BET. I do not think it's beneficial to our community. The BET Awards is a joke to me. It is all all it is doing is successfully perpetuating stereotypes. I would like to see everything about the damn channel change, from the owners, from the content, the award show, the entire shit. Revamp everything. Get everyone involved out and bring back those who are going to represent us in a appropriate way, in a way that is conducive of what we wanted BET to be. Because what it is now is a bunch of bullshit.
We need to cancel BET. We need it. So where's the cancel culture television for that right there? I need cancel culture to cancel BET. That's what they need to do.
I was actually getting ready to give my new acronym, though. I was excited about my acronym. I came up with bullshit entertainment television. But no, I agree with you, E-Man. Like, cancel culture want to cancel something, start with BET. That's what they need to look at.
They canceled my man Pepe Le Pew. And anything like that. Yeah, I'm still pissed off by that, man. Come on, man. Cancel my favorite skunk and whatnot, man. There's a lot of things you can cancel. But yeah, I'm sorry.
No, you good. You good, sir. But just to wrap it up, again, in general, I would love for BET to be everything we intended for it to be a fair representation of our culture, of our accomplishments, of who the community is. And it's vast, right? I'm not saying that, we are all one type of person, or we all fit into a mold. We do not. We're human beings. We differ. But what BET represents is not indicative of what the Black community is as a whole, and the stereotypes that it perpetuates bothers the shit out of me. So to answer the question specifically, first half of it is the BET Awards, the 2021 BET Awards, and BET as a channel, any value to the Black community? None whatsoever at all. Pure basura.
Like I said, big toilet bowl full of shit, marinating, that still can't be flushed.
Stop giving me that image, sir, and then stop using the word marinating. You are making me nauseous. I'm gonna need some ginger ale. But those are my thoughts on it. I'm going to go ahead and throw it to our guy, Mr. P.A.T., to wrap us up. What say you, sir?
Okay. I'm the one to wrap it up. I feel the pressure. But
You got this, sir. We got you.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to do the damn thing. I'm going to do the damn thing. So everybody buckle up. Strap yourselves in. I'm about to go in.
I better hear a lot of stop it though, too, though.
we might get one. We might get one. But so let me just start off by saying that coonery, buffoonery, and degeneracy is one of the system of white supremacy's tactics to destroy Black people, especially when it is corporate owned and corporate sponsored coonery, buffoonery, and degeneracy. And I'm gonna keep it 100. Surprise, surprise. I'm gonna just keep this all the way 100. Aside from the bits and pieces that I saw, the DMX tribute included, which I thought was good. I did like that. Aside from the bits and pieces, I did not sit and watch the BET Awards. I wouldn't subject myself to watching hours of nonsense. No, I wouldn't do that. I just would not do that. Now, someone could play devil's advocate and ask, how do I know that the BET Awards is hours of nonsense? Well, I know from the past award shows, and as my co-hosts have already stated many times, in terms of BET just being straight up trash, I know that BET as a whole fell off decades ago. So that's how I know. I mean, for those who might have been hiding under a rock, BET was sold to Viacom back in 2001. Now, BET was founded in January 1980. But aside from that fact, we can argue that the content might have started to fall off by the early 2000s. At least that's how I see it. It started to decline in the early 2000s. Once it was sold, that was the kiss of death for quote unquote Black entertainment television. And let's be real, it's not even Black entertainment television. I got my air quotes up for that. It is white-owned Black entertainment television. And people can do the research themselves and see that it is white-owned. Black people don't own BET. That's just the reality. I hate to break it to some of y'all out there. I know there's some people who know, who are hip, but for the ones who don't, I hate to break it to you, but BET is not Black owned. That's just a fact. With that being said, if BET is owned by one of the major 6 corporations, then how exactly would they be a channel that has Black people's best interest in mind? Now, that's a question that people need to really ask themselves, because these major 6 corporations own about 90% of the media. All white owned, by the way. These are all white owned. Black people, we don't own a damn thing in that arena. Like I said before, these are 6 corporations that own 90% of the media. With that in mind, again, how exactly would that channel, BET, how would that have Black people's best interest in mind? Now, this is a rhetorical question, because I already know the answer. They don't have Black people's best interest in mind. They don't. And if anyone out there is telling themselves that, you're wrong. They don't have, if you are a Black person listening, they don't have your best interest in mind. Let's just be real. I know it might suck for some people to hear, but we got to be real. BET is not for the Black man, Black woman, Black child. It is not for the Black community's best interest. It's that simple. The thing is, once you have a major conglomerate made up of 6 corporations that control your media, that means that same conglomerate has a monopoly on telling you how to think, what to think, and what to think about. Television, aka tell lie vision, or tell lies to your vision. Shout out to my girl Ruby, a great friend of mine who passed away in 2020. She's the one who told me that the television means tell lies to your vision.
Yes, it is. Shots fired.
Yeah,
boom,
exactly. That's what it is.
Oh man, it would have been perfect to have them gunshots.
Right. We had the gunshots, like, no. Yep. Yeah, real talk. Like it's the tell lies to your vision. You know, I remember growing up hearing that the television is the idiot box. Well, that idiot box tells lies to our vision on a regular basis. Even if we want to look up what television means, tele comes from Greek and it means far. Vision, which is Latin for see and sight. That's what that means. That's what vision, that's where that comes from. We can go further and also look at the fact that tele can mean, and this is in quotes because I did like my man E-Man does and looked at the etymology, but it means reaching over a distance, being carried from one point to another. So we put it together, and whatever program is out there, that program is carried from one point to another point and into your vision. And since we're speaking of program also means written notice or public notice or proclamation. Pro means before. So in other words, that gram is coming at a scheduled time. So we have program. So television programs are used to make proclamations to your mind. The powers that be want the masses to be programmed. Surprise, surprise. Basically, programmed to think, move, and act a certain way. Now, with all of that being said, I don't see how BET, something that is controlled by a conglomerate that has a monopoly on the mind, is of any value to Black people. Black people don't even control BET. That's just what it is. That's just the fact. That's just a fact. Black people don't control BET. You might have some Black folks in positions of power, but ultimately the real positions of power reside with the white owners. Now, the quality of today's music and entertainment, as we know, it's widely debated. It's widely debated these days. And I mean, that's a whole nother episode or session for another time. But when a large portion of the entertainment is coonery and buffoonery, none of that is of any fucking value to Black people. Black people's overall condition in this country has not seriously changed. People can look at the racial wealth gap if they don't believe me. Go ahead and take a look at the racial wealth gap if you think what I'm saying is some bullshit. Go ahead and take a look. If the people calling the shots aren't Black and aren't pushing an agenda of Black empowerment, and I'm talking Black empowerment via ownership of major industries, then where the fuck is the value? Where exactly is the value? The powers that be are not in the business of programming Black people to think on a higher level and to be able to compete on the same level as wealthy white people. I mean, I already know people are going to hear this and they're going to talk about the black celebrities and black athletes or whoever. Yes, we have black celebrities who make a lot of money and are rich, but let's be real. They all answer to their white paymasters. The same way us folk on the ground get our paycheck from white paymasters. Now, ask yourself, why is it that our black elite doesn't come together to build something that is actually black owned? Seriously, for whoever's listening, ask yourself that question if you haven't already. Why hasn't our black elite, our so-called black elite, come together to build something that is actually black owned?
Because they know the answer. They know the answer.
They know deep down, but you know, some people like to act dumb, you know.
Of course.
But yeah, for the folks out there listening, ask yourself that if you know, if that's something you want to ask yourself, why haven't they come together? And when I say they, I'm talking about our quote unquote black elite. Why haven't they come together to actually build something black owned? And when I say that, black owned and in the best interest of black people, seems kind of odd to me. I mean, it seems kind of odd. I think this whole idea of black excellence gets pushed on the black masses. But the truth is, society at large was not built and engineered in a way to have the black race seriously compete with other races economically. Black excellence is really just an idea. I mean, let's just keep it 100. Black excellence is really just an idea. And I mean, it's something that sounds good. And it's something that can be pushed since black people as a group are aspirational. It's just one of those things. It's just an idea that sounds good and can be pushed on a group of people who are aspirational and hopeful. The thing is, you can't have entertainment that promotes buffoonery and dysfunction and expect to be programmed properly. You can't have a continual flow of programs that promote buffoonery and dysfunction and expect to be in a place of taking power. Because that's what black people need to do. We need to take power. We need to stop asking for power. We need to just take it. That's really how we will ever get some kind of power, is to just take it. You can't ask for power, because the people who actually are in power in this world that we live in, I guarantee you, they didn't ask for it. They just went and took it. So that's what black people need to do. But, you know, that could be a whole nother episode or session in and of itself for another time. The fact of the matter is, the powers that be would prefer that black people stay in a perpetual state of being a consumer class. Award shows, I mean, come on. I'm sure we've all watched them. They've been going on for who knows how long. They could be entertaining at times, certain ones. Obviously, some are better than others, but overall award shows are really just part of the bread and circuses. They're really just a distraction. Just like sports and other widely viewed events. They're distractions. The powers that be would much prefer that everyone just stay entertained. Because when you're always entertained, you don't think to acquire power. You don't think to challenge the status quo. And most importantly, you don't think to do something about changing the status quo. So to answer the question more directly, no, the 2021 BET Awards and BET overall is of no value to black people. It's just a white-owned channel with so-called Black programs that are there for the purpose of telling you what being Black is. And I got Black in air quotes. It's there for the purpose of telling you what being Black is. We're talking about programs that are reinforced in your mind to accept Black as meaning to be in a state of lack. That's what we're talking about here. So when we talk about that, everything that I just mentioned, in an overall sense, no, BET is like just the channel, the award shows, whatever, the TV shows, whatever you want to name, regardless of the shows in the past that were great, you know, when BET was actually Black owned. The fact of the matter is, it is of no value to Black people. Those are just my thoughts. It's not of any value to Black people.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Very well spoken, sir. Definitely agree with a lot of your points there, you know, especially the one about us needing as a community to take power. Very, very powerful points. Pun intended.
Right.